Welcome back to the Fuel Show. Still to come, we're going to take a look at Saturn's Aura, and Ian's going to be on location drag racing in Southern California. Now, Infiniti is Japanese automobile manufacturer Nissan's luxury brand. They were formed in the 1980s. 2007 is going to be a big year for them as they head into Russia with their vehicles, and then in 2008 it's going to be China and the United Kingdom. Infiniti vehicles are traditionally based on the same automobile platforms as Nissan's. For our first Behind the Wheel, Dennis and Ian are going to take a look at the FX45.
Thanks, Nick. Q-Factor is the first score up for the new FX45 from Infiniti, and it looks like it's packing a wallop, but doesn't really have everything that's expected from it, I think.
It's kind of strange that way. You know, you look at it, it's got the screen in the center of the dash, it's got a lot of buttons. A lot of them don't do anything. That's the problem. Now, I know that all models will have a variance in what they're equipped with, but our model did not have the backup camera, didn't have the navigation, didn't have any of the little extra goodies that we think at the price point of $50 and above should be acquired for that kind of rig. Now, yeah. I did like some of the stuff. I mean, the Q-Factor stuff, it has an advanced electronic all-wheel drive system, has a really nice set of seat controls. I mean, I call them all a 80 Corvette. They're kind of down in the seat.
On the inside.
On the inside. Yeah. It's kind of cool. I like it.
Yeah, also, it's got the electronic brake force distribution, which I really like, especially when you're driving like a big SUV/wagon for balance. I think that's good.
And you never pay attention. That's why you got to use that, because you don't hit other people.
It also has the tire pressure monitors, which are good too, because I don't pay attention to that, obviously.
That's okay. Why don't we score?
3.5. Moving right along the curve field for the 2007 FX45. I think it looks like that video game Moonlander from when we were kids.
I think I have that on my Atari 64.
I think so.
It might have, you kind of cruise along, jumped a couple asteroids, shot a laser.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe it looks like a cartoon vehicle. We really can't decide. It's almost maybe a Roger Rabbit, maybe something Jessica Rabbit would have drove in a cartoon world that we're all stuck in. Hey, either way, we had definite opinions about the FX45. It is soft in some ways, and it's kind of tough in others. Really nice treatments on the headlights, really nice treatments on the taillights. Those were particularly nice. But one thing for us, and I think we definitely agreed on this, is it's a multitude of looks kind of wrapped into one vehicle.
I think they couldn't make up their mind. I really like the interior on it, and the drive position in it is great. I mean, you feel like you're up there, and it's got a nice big hood, even though it's not that substantial of an SUV.
Yeah, I think we'd have to score pretty good on curb appeal. What do you think?
Oh, I think everybody else likes it too, maybe 4.25. Performance is up next for the new FX45, and this is kind of the first kind of crossover SUV to breach that 300 horsepower mark, I remember a couple years ago.
Well, it actually has been around for a little while. The FX45 has 320 horsepower and 335 foot-pounds of torque. Now, those sound like pretty darn good numbers. The problem is it weighs almost 4,500 pounds. That's as much as a Suburban. Now, you get a nice weighty feel with the car when you drive it. I think that the performance from a handling standpoint is really secure. The 20-inch wheels do a lot to that. Great brakes as well. I'll definitely mention that. The thing is, it's just kind of overweighted. It does have a nice growl to the exhaust, but in today's market of performance sport utilities, I mean, come on. The supercharged Range Rover has 400. New Suburbans and Tahoes have 400. It's just not enough in today's market.
I think a lot of that is overkill, though. I think this car does exactly what it's intended for the intended buyer.
Well, I guess that maybe depends on what the buyer is. But for us, what do you want to score?
I'd say 4. Fit and Finish is up next for the new 2007 FX45 from Infiniti. And I really like the way that Infiniti kind of focuses on the little things, the materials, the build quality, all that stuff wrapped together always gives them a high score.
They have done a really nice job with just what you said, the little things, the stitching, the piping on the seats. Some of the material choices are really well thought out, the way they blend into other parts of the car. Yeah. And you can tell it creates kind of a persona or an atmosphere, or I don't know if it's aromatherapy, I don't know what it is, it's visual therapy. It's a really neat job they do about making one part of the vehicle blend into the other.
Yeah, they do it across the whole line. I think we have to score them high, maybe a 4 again. Absolutely. Drivability is the final category for the new Infiniti FX45, and I personally think this is its weak score. I mean, when you're talking about a mid-size SUV, you expect more than 27 foot of luggage room.
Well, that's not a lot. It doesn't have a lot of attributes for someone that would be a real on-the-go person. not a lot of luggage room, not a lot of rear seat room. It really is a sport utility for the urbanite. It has 20-inch wheels with little low-profile tires on it. It does have some decent ground clearance in case you want to jump the curb to make the movie on time. But let's be realistic. It's just a sport utility built for the street. I wouldn't even think we should say those words together.
It's a jacked-up wagon.
It's a jacked-up station wagon with some big wheels and tires, a sports car seating position, great stereo, great attributes as far as comfort, but when it comes to going off-road, it just kind of throws it out the window.
Yeah, I'd have to go 375.
Let's see how Dennis and Ian scored the Infiniti FX. For Q Factor, it was a 3.5. Curb appeal, a 4.25. For performance, it was a 4.0. And for fit and finish, another 4.0. For drivability, it was a 3.75. That's a total of 19.5 out of a possible 25. Still to come on Fuel, Ian is going to be on location in Southern California, attempting to drag race Scions. And when Fuel returns, we'll take a look at our second behind the wheel, the Saturn Aura.